In this video, we will see how to perform the compare and find the difference between the SCL file. The use case is when we are working with IEC 61850 based substation, we may need to follow the different SCL engineering approach. So there are two different SCL engineering approach at the moment. One is the top to bottom approach. There we start with the system specification tool, defining the single line diagram and adding the specific logical node for the conducting equipment, also the protection, automation, and metering logical nodes. And we export those configuration as a system specification description. We import that particular SCL file type into system configuration tool. There we import the ICD file and merge with the system specification description, and we define the ID name, IP address, and we add the specific data set for the different set of requirement, and we map those data set to the control block, like the report control block, goose control block, sample value control block. Also, this different type of control block will be assigned to the client devices, also subscribers within the project. Once we complete the data flow engineering, we export this information as a system configuration description. This will be imported again into the ID configuration tool. Then we also process the subscription data into the proprietary function blocks to complete the SCL engineering for the different manufacturer IDs, and we write those configuration from the ID configuration to the real ID as a CID file. So we use different set of SCL file formats from beginning to the end, and we also perform the update when there is a requirement to have a change in the configuration. Also, when there is a requirement to add a new bay or change in the configuration related to ID functions. So we may need a requirement to perform the SCL file comparison to know the difference between the previously engineered configuration to the latest configuration revision. This is for the top to bottom approach. So there is another approach where we start from the ID configuration tool, starting from the ICD file, and we define the IP address, network name, dataset, mapping those dataset to the different control block, and again exporting as SCD file and importing into the system configuration tool, adding the client ID and mapping those report control block to the client devices, also subscribers, and we again import those information to the back to the ID configuration tool. So this is we do when we are following the bottom to top approach. So we basically use different set of SCL files throughout the project from the beginning till the end, and post closing the project also we perform the modification. And we may need a requirement to perform the SCL engineering difference. So there are different set of tools available in the market. Some of them are open source, some of them are freeware, some of them are non-commercial use only. So we will see in this video those different set of softwares. So let's start with the OpenSCD, which is open source software that's available in the internet. And you can also see how you can able to download from online now, and you can also see an option I will provide in the description how you can able to set up in offline as well. So you can type OpenSCD. It's available in the GitHub. It's a substation communication designer. It's a tool, and you can able to download it from the GitHub repository. So here you can able to select the code section in the top left, and there you can able to see under the about section there is a option where you can able to directly launch the OpenSCD in the web version, so in the web browser version. And you can able to download as well by selecting the recent releases. So there is an update always. You can able to download it by following up this particular web page. So I will launch the web version. So the input is to provide the SCL file. So by selecting the open project, we can able to import different set of SCL files. So in my case, I have two different SCL files. I will import them. So first I will import the SCD file, and it also perform the validation by default, the tool, and you can able to enable different set of functions by selecting the menu in the left, the three lines. There you can go to the extension. There you can able to add the different set of function. So our objective is to perform the compare option between the project and ID. So with OpenSCD, we could able to perform the ID compare option at the moment. So in the future, there may be an enhancement. So it is highly recommended to follow to get the latest enhancement from the OpenSCD. So the OpenSCD is a open source software. We can able to use it for editing the SCL files, and we can able to add many different missing content in the SCL file. So I will enable already, then I'll close here at the moment, and I will select the menu, and I choose compare ID, and I need to provide another project, which may be another SCL file. I'll choose another SCD file, and I get an option to choose the compare option between the IDs. So we see the first project and another project in the right side. I would like to perform the compare between these two ID. I know that this particular ID in the template project, sample project, doesn't have the client connection between the control block. So just to know, we perform the compare option. So here I can able to see the client LN mapping is not done. This is what we can see as a difference. So this is how we can able to use OpenSCD to perform the ID compare option. Next, we'll use Notepad++, which is freeware. Go to the download option. I download the 64-bit compatibility. You can go with the default installation, and we can also, okay, there is another update available, and it's okay now. I can continue, or I can also able to perform the update quick term. Post installation, we can select the plugin. We can select the plugin admin. There we can find the XiMple related tools. XML tools and compare plugin. These two are very important for us at the moment, apart from the. So we have added the XML tool as an add-on plugin to the Notepad++ application, and there is a tool also we have added to perform the compare option. And next, we will open the SCL file. Include this one. Go to the desktop, and here is the SCL file. The first one I open already, and next one I will open again. It's the second one, and here I can see an option to perform the compare. So this is the icon. So in the right side, I could see there is another option available. So there is a lines. There are a couple of lines. I can choose the lines and find the difference here. So this is how I can see. First, there is a missing element for the conducting equipment for the Q05 and the bus coupler ID. So next information is the complete content is missing because you can see the description in the CD file. So without ECU is a switchgear control unit from Omicron, and then here you can see the informations are also missing related to the client LN mapping, and there are a couple of difference also available here in the down. So complete ID section is missing. So in the left side you can see the ID detail and the access point and connected data site, report control block, goose control block, and completely in the right side these are the informations missing. So this is how we can perform the difference, and you can also go to the first comparison, and then you can go one by one, next, third, fourth, like that. You can go one by one at the comparison from the Notepad++. So I will close now the Notepad++. Let's go for another option, which is a WinMerge. So this is also another freeware open source tool you can download and use it to find out the difference between the SCL file. So you can proceed with the default installation. It's very simple. And post installation of WinMerge, you can also directly open folder, and from this level, and the simplest way is you can go to the folder where you have the SCL file, and then you can right click by selecting one of the SCL file. You can see here I have two different SCL files, both are SCD files. You can select one of the file and then right click. There you see a WinMerge option. So it will automatically open one of the file from the repository where it is saved, and you can choose another file by selecting the browse icon. Go to the location, choose another file where we wanted to compare, and select the compare option in the down, and we can see here total 9 differences found in the down, and we can reach the next difference, the last difference, and you can also see the complete ID section is missing, like the one which we have seen before. The bus coupler ID is missing on the right side, and you can go the first difference, and then these are the conducting equipment that are not associated in the substation section. And next you can go to the next difference, and one by one you can reach the difference. This is in the part of the communication section where the ID is connected, the access point and related details, the MMS association for the application and transport profile, IP address and subnet details of the particular ID, and the complete information is missing, and we can use the next difference like that. We can go further to find out the complete difference. In the down, the good point is with WinMerge, you can see the number of difference and where we are currently, the current difference and the complete number of difference between one file to another file. So let's close WinMerge, go to another option. That's SCL, the tool name. So it's a XML editor and viewer in a table format. You can select download option. This is the older version, but we can also download the newer version. First, I will explain with the older version, and I will also explain the newer version how we can download. So when we download, it says it's not trustable and you need to accept. Maybe it's not scanned properly, the resource file that are used to build this particular application. So this is a little bit strange sometimes. So we can also use this version for now, and I can also show you the newer version. I'll keep anyway at the moment. You can double click. This is for non-commercial use only. And open the first SCL file. So in the down, you can choose all files. So SCL file has been opened here, and this is very good to view from the XiMple tool. You can see the header file and which tool is used and which version is used to perform the engineering of this particular SCD file. And then we can see the substation section, the power transformer, and then the voltage level, how many voltage level is available. One in the 320 kV in the high voltage side, and in the medium voltage side there is a 33 kV, and how many bays are available in both voltage level, and the conducting equipment and connector logical node. And the communication section explains about the access point, subnetwork, and the IP address and connected goose control block reference. And the ID section explains about the number of IDs with the description, ID name, and the description, manufacturer, configuration, version, also the schema version, which has been used to perform the engineering of the SCL file for the specific ID, and the specification can be accessible from the services. So what are the different services are supported for a specific ID? This is related to the capability of the specific ID and the access point, where we have the data model starting from the logical device, logical node, then the data object, data attribute. All this information can be explored in this level, and the data type template as well. So our objective is to perform the SCL file comparison. So I just explain how we can able to expand each section, understand very well, and you can even edit the content wherever you wanted to perform the change with this tool. And next file you can open from the file menu. So I have opened already one of the SCD file, another one is here, and under the tools menu there is an option for compare mode. So here you can see it also highlights with a green color in the left side. So these are the details which is not available in the right side. You can see the empty space, and you can use the next difference and next difference and further it goes to find out the difference. At the moment, we are seeing in the table view. In case if we'd like to see the text view like an XML, you can select in the down left. There is a text view, and you can also use that particular view um, to go to top to bottom. And this is also useful when you wanted to perform the SCL file difference between one file to another file. And you can go next, 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 and it will also explain you one by one from the left to right. And there is an highlight where exactly this difference is available, and you'll also point out the table and the line. And this particular ID is completely missing. That's what we could see here. You can see number of IDs is 15, and here we see only 14 ID. And one ID is missing that we can understand in the table view very well. And then you can also see in the text view in the left and the right side also what are the difference in information missing. This also helps us very well to perform the SCL file comparison. So you can see this is for non-commercial use only, and the WinMerge is absolutely free and there is no warranty, and we can also redistribute, and this is almost freeware software. And Notepad++, we know this is a freeware. And OpenSCD is an open source platform. We can also use it without any problem. And WinMerge, these 4 different tools help us to find out the difference between the SCL files. And there are so many other recommended options. So there are some system configuration tools, ID configuration tools from the manufacturer. Also perform the comparison between the SCL file, which is also highly recommended to use. In case if you don't have an access to those tools, we can use this open source, non-commercial freeware tools to find out the difference between the SCL files. I will provide all the links in the description of this video. In case if you have any doubts, you can feel free to comment and contact me. That's all from this video. Thank you. Take care. Bye.